Howdy Meeps, I'm Rigaroga and you're you, and this is going to be a series of solo actual play sessions using the Ironsworn system. I do actually have both Ironsworn and the new Delve, so I'm going to go ahead and include both of those, although the first few episodes probably won't have much Delve, I don't think, in them. We'll see. Anyhow, maybe some of the oracles and things like that, but I don't know that we'll get right. Yeah, I mean, we're going to do the world building and character creation and all that sort of stuff first, and then maybe some of the oracles from Delve, but we'll get to a Delve eventually. Um, this is, for me, kind of an experiment in zero prep. Although I've done kind of a silly amount of prep for something that was going to be zero prep. But of course, I'm recording this, so I kind of had to like set things up and get things going and whatnot. Um, I do want to mention a few shout outs to first off to Geek Gamer, who on YouTube like a year ago was doing a couple solo actual plays using Ironsworn. I don't know why at the time I got the impression that it was really crunchy. I don't really think I have that impression now, but it seemed a little bit more crunchy than I wanted to play, and so I ended up doing 5e solo and stuff like that, which is way more crunchier than this is. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I do just want to be sure I mention that that's probably the first place that I ran into Ironsworn, and her her channel's great. Lots of really interesting discussion about how to solo role play and actual plays and examples and all sorts of stuff. I do also want to say that what finally got me to pull the trigger and realize this was a game that I wanted to play was the preview to Delve that Shawn Tomkin and a fistful of dice did on the fistful of dice channel. So I definitely got the impression that Delve was super super cool, and I really like had my eyes opened at that point that this is actually something that I might really enjoy playing, and so that's what really got me to go into it. And as I was waiting for the cards, um, I really just sort of dove into Adam Kobol's actual plays of Ironsworn, Mark Holmes, his actual actually more of his session zero stuff, and I also want to mention that I've sort of had some inspiration from the co-op games being played by All Systems Go on their channel. So check them out. So Adam Coble, Mark Holmes, and the Abby and the gang from All Systems Go, they actually have informed my thinking about the truths, the world building, and so I'm probably gonna sort of on the fly incorporate some of that conversation that they had, and as part of my own reflection on what I wanted to play. So that's something that I include here by reference. And if you want to sort of get the background on what I've already brought to the table from things I've already seen, check out those three series. I'll probably link to all of them in the description of this video. And then finally, I just want to give a sort of a thankful shout out to Kelsey Dion of Arcane Library, and she sent out a email letter to our list recently about motivation, and I've been not motivated at all. I've been trying so hard, and I've sat down to play, and I've ended up not playing various games that I've got in the works or that I've been playing on and off. And so this is actually the first opportunity I've really gotten to sit down, and maybe I'm just thawing out from the winter, and things are starting to heat up. But it's a great temperature, awesome outside, and so I'm starting to feel like starting to get back into the sap is starting to move in my joints and stuff. And so okay, I, I don't want to talk about the image that just came up for me. I was thinking plant sap, okay? Yeah, anyhow, so I wanted to give a shout out to those. And I think I'll go ahead and actually put that in the description when I post this for this particular first video. Um, let's dive in. I'm probably not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the rules, but what I've got is I've got the dice and the cards set up over here. I've got my typical RPG stuff with the ice house pyramids, and a bunch of colored gems, and then printouts and post-it notes and my hipster PDAs for notes. And then I created, because this is sort of, I'm thinking of this as kind of a hex crawl. And so if we look at the sort of the map of well, actually, let's just go ahead and dive in and look at the core rulebook. Let's talk about the regions of Ironlands. So this is sort of the continent of the Ironlands, and I'm thinking of it as kind of a hex crawl. And then when I get down into the nitty gritty of it, I'm going to be using sort of a mini hex crawl. Hey, Ranga, you want to come up? Hi. Hi, Ranga. So I'm going to be using this mini hex crawl, which I created as sort of just a suggestive map. And I'm going to use it, I think, kind of like inspired by Index Card RPG's idea of concept control, or instead of territory control. So this is going to be basically just a suggestive map. And this is a sub-hex of a much larger hex map that's overlaid onto the continent of the Ironlands. And so, I'm going to be treating this as a 6 mile hex, so 1 day of travel, and then we'll go from there. I don't know exactly. We'll find out. We're just going to find it out. But let's go ahead. We're going to start with the basics, but I'm going to skip mostly to what's next. So we're going to create a character, then we're going to build the world, then we're going to review moves. Well, I might do that off thing. And, I'll review the moves. I'll look at the review of the example play, and then we swear the iron vows that begin the play, and then we just start.